While the legislation on Sunday shopping is moving at a snail's pace through the committee stage at Queen's Park, with a clause-by-clause cautiously taking its time expected in January. An outspoken advocate of Sunday shopping is the leader of the Freedom Party based in London, Ontario, Robert Metz. He joins us now from our London bureau. Mr. Metz, this is like a replay of last year, and we still don't have any legislation. In your opinion, why do you think the government is dragging its heels on this matter?
Well, the government's not dragging its heels on the matter. The government's causing the problem in the first place. We have to realize that Sunday shopping laws represent a violation of all our fundamental freedoms, that the Supreme Court of Canada has in fact stated this quite explicitly. The December '86 Supreme Court decision suggesting that Ontario's Sunday shopping laws do indeed violate our fundamental freedom of religion, but are nevertheless justified in a supposedly democratic society, is an indication that this is a given fact, not a matter of opinion.
One of the biggest concerns about Sunday shopping, though, is protecting the rights of workers, especially those people who don't want to work on Sunday. Any words on that?
Yes, the argument that one is forced to work on any particular day of the week is preposterous. What we're dealing with here is an obligation that a particular employee may happen to make to an employer, and if he doesn't like the obligation, he has the freedom in this country to go to another employer. That is what that freedom of choice is about. And believe me, there's a lot of people in this country quite willing and able and ready to work on Sundays, and what we're saying by our laws is that these people don't have the right to do that. Other people should have the right, who don't want to work on Sundays, but should nevertheless have the right to hold that job up. That's just not a practical way of running an economy, and it certainly isn't a just and proper way of dealing with an issue.
What about the argument, though, that people have a set amount of money that they're going to spend, and whether they have a 6-day period or a 7-day period which to spend it, that amount isn't going to change?
First of all, it's not true, because if that were the case, we'd still be as poor as we were at the beginning of the century. I mean, we've seen progress over history that proves that indeed wealth does grow the more often we allow transactions. It's not how much money is in the economy that counts. It's how often it exchanges hands. Where money is made, that's where wealth is earned, and that's when money becomes most productive, when it goes to the people who are working hardest to earn it. And I think that a society that tries to subvert that process is a society that's going to doom itself economically, and Canada's been on that road for quite a while.
Any predictions on what is going to happen this Boxing Day? Already saying they're going to be open. Well,
there you go. Some retailers are going to say laws of this nature really breed of laws. When a store owner knows that he can be treated the same as a criminal peacefully operating his business on a Sunday, then being a criminal and being an honest businessman. And it's time that these kind of laws were dropped, that we started recognizing our rights. We started looking at politicians to defending someone's particular interest, which is really what we're seeing in play here, and let everyone choose on their own and be responsible for their own choices.
Municipalities should decide this issue.
Absolutely. The goal is to let the individual decide. We're the people that pay these politicians. They're not there to make our decisions for us. They're there to protect our right to make our decisions for ourselves. And I think this is a distinction that we've really lost in this country over the last 10 or 20 years. In a free country, any individual, even a minority, as long as he's peaceful about his actions, should have the right to do whatever he wants.
All right, Robert Metz, thanks very much for talking to us today.
And thank you.
A note to our viewers, we tried contacting the managers of those stores that were open for Sunday shopping last weekend. None of them were willing to speak to us on camera. Still ahead, finding fault with the Mercer report, a hearing